Welcome to Groove Guide Podcast. Today, we are going to explore a morning ritual that, honestly, it sounds less like a barista's craft and more like something you'd brew in a witch's cauldron. We are talking about mushroom coffee. It is everywhere right now, taking over social media feeds, filling up shelves at health food stores. But it begs a very serious question. I'm Earl, your host.
And I'm Mariam, joining you as the guest expert to help make sense of all this fungus.
So let's just address the elephant, or maybe the toadstool in the room right away. If I told you I was drinking mushrooms for breakfast, would you assume I'm making soup? Because honestly, when I first heard mushroom coffee, I just pictured like a giant portobello floating in a latte. It just didn't seem right.
You know, that is exactly what everyone thinks at first. It sounds so culinary, right? Like something that belongs on a pizza with extra cheese, not in your favorite mug. But the reality of what's happening in the coffee world is fascinatingly different. And here's a surprising fact to kick us off. While it feels like this super trendy wellness hack that was invented for Instagram, mushroom coffee actually dates back to the 1940s.
Wait, what? Really? I assumed this was a pure modern hipster invention.
Not at all. It goes all the way back to World War II in Finland. There was a massive coffee shortage. Beans were running out everywhere because of the conflict. So out of necessity, people started harvesting chaga mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, they grow naturally on birch trees there, and they use them as a coffee substitute.
Wow. So it started as a survival tactic.
Exactly. They weren't trying to, biohack their brains or optimize their morning routine. They just wanted a warm, dark brew and didn't have beans. It was about comfort in the cold. But today, we're seeing it return for very different reasons. It's less about scarcity now and, well, more about optimization. But before we dive into all the chemistry of why people are doing this, we need to get the safety check out of the way.
Right. The disclaimer. Always important.
Yes. We are going to be diving deep into bioactive compounds and health claims today, but this content is for educational purposes only. We are not doctors.
So important to say.
Always seek a doctor's help before trying anything new, especially if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, have a medical condition, or take medication. Fungi are powerful, and they really do interact with your body's chemistry.
Good note. Okay, let's unpack this. We've established it's not soup. But if I walk into a cafe or order a bag online, what is actually in the cup? Break it down for me like I'm 5 years old.
Okay.
Am I drinking little dehydrated mushroom bits?
No floating bits, I promise. Think of it this way. We are not talking about culinary mushrooms. We aren't talking about the white button mushrooms or shiitakes you fry up with butter and garlic.
Okay, so no pizza toppings in the mug. That's a relief.
Precisely. Mushroom coffee is typically a blend. It's usually about 50% regular ground coffee beans, Arabica or Robusta, just like you're used to, and 50% medicinal mushroom extract. And the key word there is extract.
Extract. Okay, so they aren't just taking a dried mushroom, smashing it with a hammer, and throwing it in.
Well, the cheap brands might, but we'll get to that later. The good stuff goes through a serious process. They take specific medicinal mushrooms like lion's mane or chaga, and they process them to pull out all the bioactive compounds, the good stuff. Then that gets dried into a superfine powder that just dissolves right into the coffee.
I see. So visually, if I look at the powder, it just looks like coffee.
Exactly. It looks like dark cocoa or maybe instant coffee granules. You wouldn't know the difference just by looking at the spoon.
But the big question, the one I think everyone is screaming at their speakers right now.
Yeah.
Does it taste like dirt? Be honest with me. Because I love the taste of coffee. I don't want to ruin it.
It really doesn't. That's the magic of the blending process. Because it's mixed with real coffee beans, the dominant flavor is still coffee.
Really? No funky, swampy aftertaste?
It can be a little earthy or nutty, maybe like a darker roast. Some people actually say it's smoother than regular coffee because the mushrooms kind of cut the acidity. But it definitely does not taste like mushroom soup. If I handed you a cup and didn't tell you, you might just think you were drinking a nice, bold roast.
Okay, I can get on board with that. But here's where I get stuck. If I love coffee, and I really love coffee, why would I want to cut it with fungus? What is the mission here?
It all comes down to how our bodies handle energy. I like to use an analogy for this. Think of regular coffee like a really fast, high-performance race car.
I like race cars. Fast is usually good.
Fast is fun. You slam on the gas, it's the caffeine hitting your system, and you get this huge burst of speed. You're flying.
But what happens if you run out of gas or push the engine too hard?
And you crash. Or you get the jitters, the shaking hands. I've definitely had the too much espresso vibration before. Exactly. High peaks and really low valleys. It's kind of chaotic energy. Now think of mushroom coffee, like a steady, experienced hiking guide.
Okay, a hiking guide. That sounds
Okay.
slower.
It's not about 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's about steady, consistent progress up the mountain. The mushrooms are there to sort of modulate the caffeine. They give you energy, but they keep you calm and focused. You don't get the jitters, that shaky feeling. And crucially, you don't get that sudden crash at 2 p.m. where you feel like you need a nap under your desk.
That actually sounds amazing. I think we've all been victims of the 2 p.m. slump, so it's about smoothing out the curve.
Precisely. It's sustainable energy versus chaotic energy. It's treating your energy levels like a marathon, not a sprint.
So let's meet the crew. You mentioned medicinal mushrooms. Who are these guys? I feel like we need to introduce them like a superhero team.
That is a perfect way to look at it. There is absolutely a super squad of mushrooms you'll see on these labels. They each have a specific role. Let's start with the leader of the pack, the one everyone is talking about right now, lion's mane.
Lion's mane. It sounds aggressive. What's its superpower?
Brain power. Think of lion's mane as the brain booster.
So it helps me think. Or does it just wake me up?
It really helps with cognitive function. We're talking focus, memory, and clearing up that brain fog. There's actually some really cool science behind this. Lion's mane stimulates something in the brain called nerve growth factor, or NGF, which is essential for our neurons.
So it's helping the wiring in my brain.
Exactly. And it works fast. There was a study published in 2023 in the journal Nutrients, led by Sarah Docherty, that really put this to the test.
Ooh, we love a good study. What did they find?
They found that lion's mane improved reaction speed in participants just 60 minutes after taking it.
1 hour. That's barely enough time to finish the cup.
1 hour. And it wasn't just a quick fix. After 28 days, the participants also reported reduced stress levels, so it's acting on the brain really effectively, both in the short term and over time.
That is impressive. Okay, so lion's mane is the brain guy. Who's next on the roster?
Next up is chaga. I call chaga the shield.
The shield. Sounds defensive.
It is. Chaga is just packed with antioxidants. Now, we hear that word a lot, antioxidants, but think of them as the body's rust-proofing. They fight off stress and damage. Chaga helps fight off bad guys like inflammation and keeps your immune system strong.
And isn't chaga the one that looks weird? I've seen pictures.
Oh, it looks bizarre. It doesn't even look like a mushroom. It grows on birch trees, and it looks like a big, crusty lump of burnt charcoal.
It's the ugly duckling of the group.
Completely. You would never look at it in the woods and think, yum, let me drink that. But biologically, it is so potent for immunity.
Got it. So lion's mane for the brain, chaga for the shield. Who's next?
Cordyceps. This is the energy battery.
Energy battery. Is this what I see athletes talking about?
Yes, exactly. Cordyceps is famous for stamina and physical performance. To put it simply, it helps your body produce and use something called ATP.
ATP. I remember that from high school biology. Vaguely. Something about the powerhouse of the cell.
You got it. Think of ATP as the actual battery currency inside your cells. Everything your body does requires it. Cordyceps helps your body make that fuel more efficiently. It also improves how your body uses oxygen. So if you're working out or just running around all day, Cordyceps helps you keep going.
I could definitely use more battery power. Sounds cleaner than a sugar rush. And the last member of the squad.
Reishi. I call Reishi the chill pill.
The chill pill. I like the sound of that. But wait, if I'm drinking coffee to wake up, why do I want a chill pill?
Ah, that's the beauty of the blend. Reishi is all about relaxation and stress relief. It helps balance out the coffee so you don't get anxious. If lion's mane wakes up your brain, reishi makes sure you don't get all stressed out about it. It keeps the nervous system grounded.
So it prevents that wired, heart-palpitating feeling.
Exactly. It just smooths the edges.
Okay, it sounds like they all have a specific job. But there is a word I keep seeing, adaptogen. It sounds like something from a sci-fi movie. What does that actually mean?
It does sound sci-fi, but the concept is actually very simple and very cool. Think about the thermostat in your house.
Okay, thinking about my thermostat.
What does it do?
Well, if it gets too hot, it turns on the AC. If it gets too cold, it turns on the heat. It keeps things comfortable. It regulates.
Bingo. That is exactly what an adaptogen does for your body. It's a regulator. If you are too hot, meaning you are stressed, anxious, your cortisol is spiking, the adaptogen helps cool you down. But if you are too cold, meaning you are tired, fatigued, it helps warm you up and give you a boost.
So it adapts to what I need in the moment.
Yes. It helps your body adapt to stress and return to balance. That's why they're called adaptogens. Regular coffee just pushes the go button no matter what. Adaptogens check the temperature first.
That is a really helpful way to visualize it. But speaking of the go button caffeine, let's bust some myths. Because I think people hear mushroom coffee and just assume it's decaf.
Right. That is myth number one. It's caffeine-free, and that is usually busted. Remember, most mushroom coffees are a blend. They still contain real coffee beans.
So you are still getting caffeine.
You are, but usually it's about half the amount. A regular cup of coffee has, 95 to 100 milligrams of caffeine? Mushroom coffee is more in the 40 to 60 range.
So it's like a diet caffeine.
In a way, the mushroom powder just takes up physical space in the scoops, so there's less coffee by volume. The result is you get awake, you feel alert, but you can usually still sleep at night.
That's a huge plus. What about the other side of the coin? I've seen ads claiming this stuff cures everything from anxiety to, I don't know, bad luck. It feels a bit like snake oil sometimes.
Myth number two. It's magic medicine, and we have to be very careful here. While these mushrooms are powerful and supported by science, like the studies we mentioned, they are not a cure-all. They support health, but they don't cure diseases overnight.
So if I drink this, I won't suddenly become a genius or never get sick again.
Sadly, no. It's a tool for wellness, not a miracle potion. It works best when it's part of a healthy lifestyle, not a replacement for one.
It's a healthy habit, not a magic wand. Now, you gave a disclaimer earlier, and I want to circle back to that. Is there a watch-out list? Who should be careful with this stuff? Because natural doesn't always mean safe for everyone.
This is crucial. Just because it grows in the ground doesn't mean it fits everyone's biology. Let's look at chaga again, our shield.
The burnt charcoal one.
Yes, chaga is very high in something called oxalates. And if you are someone who is prone to kidney stones, oxalates are your enemy. They can bind with calcium and form stones. So for some people, high amounts of chaga can increase that risk.
That is really good to know. What about medications?
They can definitely interact. For example, reishi, the chill pill, can naturally thin the blood.
Which sounds good for blood flow generally.
It is good, generally. But if you are already on blood-thinning medication, combining the two can be risky. It could thin your blood too much.
Right. You don't want to double dose on blood thinning. What about something like blood sugar?
Similar issue. Many of these mushrooms help lower blood sugar naturally. But if you are on diabetes medication and you add the mushrooms, your sugar could drop too low. That's called hypoglycemia, and it's dangerous. This is why talking to your doctor is non-negotiable.
Makes sense. And for parents out there, pregnancy.
The general advice is to skip it. There just isn't enough research yet on how these concentrated extracts affect a developing baby. It's a better safe than sorry situation.
And I have to ask, digestion. I mean, we are talking about fungi. Does it cause, issues?
It can, especially at first. Mushrooms are high in certain fibers, and if your tummy isn't used to that, it can cause some bloating or gas. It's usually temporary, but it's a thing.
Okay, so let's say I'm cleared for takeoff. I'm healthy. I want the steady energy. I go to the store, and there are a million brands. How do I choose a good one? Feel like I could get ripped off.
You absolutely can. There's a dirty little secret in the mushroom industry you need to know about. It's the battle of fruiting body versus mycelium.
Okay, those sound like sci-fi terms again. What am I looking at?
Let's use an apple tree analogy. It's the easiest way. The fruiting body is the mushroom cap you see above the ground. That's like the apple on the tree.
Okay, the apple is the fruit. That's the part we eat.
Right. The mycelium is the root system underground, the white web-like network. That's like the roots of the tree.
So we want the apple. Right, that's where the nutrients are.
We want the apple. The fruiting body is where the majority of the good stuff is concentrated. But here's the problem. Growing actual mushrooms to full maturity takes time and money.
I sense a shortcut coming.
The trap. Some brands sell mycelium on grain. Basically, they grow the roots, the mycelium, on a cheap bed of rice or oats. Then, instead of waiting for the mushroom to grow, they just grind it all up, roots, rice, oats, everything.
So you're mostly drinking oat dust.
Exactly. You end up paying $50 for expensive oat powder with a tiny bit of mushroom root mixed in. It's mostly starch.
That feels like a scam. So what words should I look for on the bag to avoid this?
You want to look for the words 100% fruiting body. If it says that, you know you are getting the real mushroom. If it says mycelium biomass, or if you see oats or brown rice in the ingredients, put it back.
100% fruiting body. Got it. Anything else?
Look for dual extraction.
Dual extraction. Why two?
Mushroom cell walls are made of something called chitin. It's the same stuff that lobster shells are made of.
Lobster shells?
Yeah, super tough. Our stomachs can't really break that down well. Dual extraction means they used both hot water and alcohol to melt those walls down and get all the good nutrients out.
So if I bought a non-extracted powder, I wouldn't get the benefit.
You'd mostly get a stomachache and very little benefit. You need that extraction.
Okay, so I buy my 100% fruiting body, dual extracted coffee. Do I just chug 3 cups the first morning?
Please don't. Start slow. Drink just 1 cup a day at first. See how your stomach feels. See how your energy levels react. Just listen to your body.
That sounds like solid advice. This has been such an eye-opener. So, to recap for everyone listening, mushroom coffee isn't soup. It's a lower caffeine, brain-boosting alternative to your regular Joe. It uses adaptogens to keep you calm and focused, like a thermostat for your stress.
And remember, the golden rule of shopping. Check the label for fruiting body so you aren't buying expensive rice powder.
This has been great. I might actually give lion's mane a try. I feel like I could use a little extra reaction speed for my morning commute.
I think we all could. Just remember to enjoy the ritual of it, too. It's not just about the chemistry. It's about taking a moment for yourself.
Definitely. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. If you are intrigued and want to find some of these products, visit grooveguide.io for products like therapeutic and functional mushroom.
And check out Groove Guide TV for blogs related to these products and other contents. There's a lot of great info there.
Before we go, here's a final thought to sip on. We treat coffee like fuel, just something to burn to keep the machine running. But what if your morning cup could be nourishment instead? Something that builds you up rather than just speeding you up. Just something to think about next time you reach for the pot.
Stay curious, everyone.
And stay healthy. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next deep dive.